I'm going to ask you some would you rather questions. They're quite strange, but go with it and see what happens. First one. Would you rather have tiny feet and huge hands, or huge feet and tiny hands?
I would prefer to have tiny feet and huge hands. I think hands were a lot better for doing different jobs, and feet are not quite so necessary unless it's difficult to walk.
But if you had huge hands, it might be difficult to do daily tasks like pick up a cup of tea or something like that.
I think you would get used to it.
Maybe.
And it depends how big your hands are going to be.
Well, it says huge, so that's
well,
really
is
big.
that twice the size of your normal hand? Or is it 50% bigger?
I don't know. Good answer. Okay. Would you rather always shout when you speak or always whisper like...
I'm not an outgoing person, so I would choose to whisper. I wouldn't like to draw attention to myself by shouting all the time. I'd rather people listen to me if I spoke in a quiet whisper.
Okay. Would you rather have 10 mosquito bites or 1 spider bite?
I think I would rather have 1 spider bite. It would be easier to treat, put some spray on it to stop any infections. And that would be better than having 10 mosquito bites, possibly all over my body.
But aren't spider bites poisonous?
Only some spider bites are poisonous. So again, is it a poisonous spider or isn't it?
All right. Okay. Now, pets. Would you rather have a pet dragon or a pet unicorn?
I think I would have a pet unicorn. I think it would be a lot more appealing to people. They would like to come and see a unicorn, as it would be very unique. And I'm sure children would like it too.
And a dragon could be a fire hazard in your house because dragons breathe fire. So they're a bit more dangerous than a unicorn. And where would you keep your unicorn?
I would rent a field somewhere close to my house, keep it there safe and secure, and I would look after it and check on it 3 or 4 times a day.
Oh, very good. What would it eat, do you think?
I think a unicorn is very similar to a horse. So it will eat grass and hay and vegetables and special horse feed.
What would a dragon eat?
I think a dragon could eat a lot of things. It wouldn't be too fussy about what it ate.
Okay. Now, with the weather, would you rather it was always raining or always snowing?
I think I would prefer it if it was always raining. Because if it does rain a lot, then water runs away. But if it was always snowing, then the snow would build up and eventually it could suffocate me and I wouldn't be able to breathe.
I thought you would prefer snow because it snows and stops and then snows again. Rather, if it's always raining, then it's always raining, it's always wet.
Well, that's what you said, always snowing, which means that it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And that's what I was thinking.
That's too much snow then. Yep, okay. Now, would you prefer or would you rather go to the beach or to the cinema?
I would much rather go to the beach. I love going to the beach. I love the sand and the sea. And I'm not particularly keen on watching films, especially in a cinema.
Okay. Now this one's a bit funny. Would you rather spend the day jumping like a kangaroo or waddling like a penguin?
I think it would be quite fun to be jumping all day like a kangaroo. You could travel long distances and see lots of different things. As opposed to a penguin waddling very slowly, it wouldn't get me particularly far. So, yeah, I think I would like to be a kangaroo jumping.
That's funny. I would prefer to be a waddling penguin. I'd be exhausted if I was jumping all the day. I couldn't imagine being a penguin for a day. That would be good. Now, at home, would you prefer to have a personal maid who would do everything for you, or a personal chef?
I think I would prefer to have a personal maid to do all the routine jobs that I have to do. They would be taken away from me and I could concentrate on what I was interested in, and I do enjoy cooking, so I don't need a chef.
Okay, and what type of jobs would a maid do? What would she do, she or he do, that you don't want to do?
I don't want to clean the house, clean the car, do the washing up, and routine jobs like that take up a lot of time every day.
Okay. So, in your free time, would you prefer to drive a racing car or to fly a helicopter?
I would prefer to drive a racing car. I don't like flying, and the thought of flying in a helicopter doesn't appeal to me, as I think it is a more dangerous thing to do. I'd rather be in control on the land driving a racing car.
Okay. Now, would you rather only eat hot food or only eat cold food?
I would prefer to only eat hot food. I enjoy eating hot food. There's quite a variety of foods which I enjoy eating hot. Whereas if food is cold, it's not quite so appealing in my opinion.
Okay. I wonder if it means cold like ice cream cold or just not cooked.
I imagine it might be cooked food that has gone cold. So eating cold potatoes, cold vegetables. Salads are okay because they are usually eaten cold. But eating meat that is cold, chicken that is cold, no thank you.
I was thinking cold food. I would have salads and sandwiches and I would be quite happy eating cold food like that, but not, like you say, hot food that has gone cold, like a cold hamburger, then no. But sandwiches and salads, I think that would be okay. I wouldn't mind. Okay. Now, would you rather have wings or a mermaid's tail?
I would much rather have wings, because then I will be able to fly to different locations and see different places, and it would mean that I've got my arms and legs as well. But if you've got a mermaid's tail, then you are very restricted to where you can go, as you would only be able to go in water, which is quite restricting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Regarding food again, would you rather eat breakfast for every meal or eat dinner for every meal?
I would prefer to eat dinner for every meal, because you could choose to have a big meal or a small meal, which is a meal that you usually have for dinner. Whereas breakfast, normally you think of cereals and possibly a full English breakfast. And I think that would be very repetitive every day.
It's funny because we're quite opposite, because I would prefer breakfast every meal. So it's funny how we think. Finally, would you rather get stuck in a lift with 5 monkeys or get stuck in a lift with 20 people?
I would prefer to be stuck in a lift with 20 people. I think being in a lift that is stuck could be very dangerous. I think the monkeys would get very agitated and possibly do me some harm. Being stuck in a lift with 20 people is also not a good experience, but I think it would be better than being stuck with monkeys.
Yeah, again, it depends on the size of the monkeys.
Well, I don't know. I think any monkey that is in a small space could be very troublesome.
And it would depend on the 20 people that you were stuck with too.
Well, all people would have different stress levels of being trapped in a lift, and it could be a very worrying time. So, yeah, being stuck in a lift with 20 people would be my option.
Okay, thank you for answering these random would you rather questions. Thank you.